My name is Ryan.
My name is Grant. We are from IKEA High School and we are going to explain how to use a multimeter.
This is a multimeter. First off, we are going to talk about its different components.
Starting at the top, we have an array of buttons, but the one we will be talking about and using in this video is the range button. This button can be used to change the unit of a thing that is being measured, so it's bigger or smaller.
The knob in the middle is used to change the settings on the multimeter. There are 7 different settings.
The first is AC voltage. This setting is used to measure voltage in an alternating current circuit.
The second is for measuring DC voltage. Used in a direct current circuit like the one in this video, it can tell how much voltage is flowing through and if there is a break in the circuit.
Third is used for measuring resistance. The Greek symbol omega, looks almost like a horseshoe, is used to represent it. By using this setting, you can measure the resistance of the different pieces of the circuit, such as resistors.
The last setting we are going to talk about is amperage or amps. This is used to see how much current is flowing through a circuit. This setting is tricky, however, because it requires you to break the circuit and switch the plugs on the bottom of the multimeter.
Moving on to the bottom part of the multimeter. This section is composed of 4 plugs that the red and black wire plug into.
The second plug on the far right labeled COM is used to plug the black wire in. This wire does not change when changing the settings.
The plug on the far right is used by the red wire. You plug the red wire into this one when you are measuring voltage and resistance.
The second plug on your left is used by the red wire. You plug the red wire into this one when you are measuring amps. The far left plug will not be demonstrated, but is used for high amperage circuits.
To help show the circuits, we will be using a Electri robot.
This is what an electric robot looks like. It has a breadboard on the back and a battery compartment.
The first measure we are going to discuss is volts.
This is the schematics of the example circuit we will be using for this section. It is composed of a battery, 2 resistors, and 2 lights.
We have wired the circuit on the Electri robot and will now show you how to set up the multimeter and measure voltage.
First of all, make sure that your wires are plugged into the right plug. Next, switch the knob so that it is pointing to the second setting, which is DC voltage, because we are using a DC circuit. When checking voltage, your red wire is your positive side and your black wire is your negative side. These sides have to correspond to the circuit, positive to positive and negative to negative.
Once you have set up your multimeter, you are now ready to measure voltage. Take both your wires and touch the power cords on your circuit. Remember to match polarity. This should show you the voltage in the circuit. You can also use it to measure other areas of the circuit to see if there's a break in the circuit.
Resistance.
For this section, we'll be using the same circuit as we did for the voltage in the previous section.
When measuring resistance, make sure you have the wires in the right plugs and the knob is switched to the resistance setting.
When measuring resistance, the wires do not have polarity, meaning that they are not negative or positive. You can put either one on each side to read the resistance. As you can see, does not matter what color goes as long as there is one on each side of the resistor. And remember to make sure you are in the right setting.
The electric robot with the circuit on it.
Turn on the multimeter by switching the setting to resistance. Change the units by pushing the range button, then unplug the cord. Circuit. You can now use your wires to find the resistance of the resistors. Change the range so that it fits the size of the resistor.
Amps or amperage, the current in the circuit.
This is the example circuit we will be using for this section. The circuit has one battery, one light, and one resistor.
However, in order to measure amperage, you need to break the circuit, meaning disconnect it, then add the multimeter into the circuit. This is so the current will flow through the multimeter.
First, switch the multimeter on to the amp setting. This is represented by mA or milliamp. The units will appear on the right side of the screen. Then make sure your wires are the correct plug.
This is the lecture robot with the amp circuit on there. Put the battery in and the light should go on.
Now break the circuit, the light should go off. We have two wires that are connected to the circuit that we'll be using to connect to the multimeter.
Make sure you have your settings correct and your wires are plugged into the right plug. Then connect the wires matching polarity. You should get a reading which can be adjusted using the range button.
When measuring amps, the multimeter completes the circuit, and when you disconnect it, the light turns off, breaking the circuit.
Thank you for watching our video.